Hello, travel enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into places you might want to avoid. Did you know there are places riskier than Detroit or a lingerie party at my cousin's ex-wife's place? She's hosted those parties twice. Overall, the world can be perilous, and danger can find you no matter where you go. However, some countries excel in the danger department, especially for Americans. The U.S. State Department updates its travel advisory frequently, ranking countries based on danger levels for U.S. travelers. This advisory uses a color system from level 1, blue, for normal caution to level 4, red, for do not travel. Today, we're examining the top 10 level 4 countries. Buckle up, folks. This is going to be a bumpy ride. Chapter 1. Syria, where bulletproof vests are always in fashion. First up is Syria. Avoid Syria unless you have a bulletproof force field. That's not just friendly advice, it's survival. The country has been embroiled in a civil war for nearly 9 years, involving more factions than a high school cafeteria. According to the State Department, there's no safe place in Syria due to violence, kidnappings, and the constant threat of chemical warfare. The violence is so pervasive that even the most experienced war correspondents are hesitant to go there. The State Department has issued its highest level of warning for Syria, and for good reason. The risk to your personal safety is off the charts. So, unless you have a burning desire to star in your own action movie, I suggest crossing Syria off your travel bucket list. There are plenty of other places in the world to explore that won't leave you dodging bullets. Chapter 2. Burkina Faso, where even your Uber driver needs a security detail. Next up is Burkina Faso. Yes, it's a real country in Africa, nestled between Mali and Ghana. The State Department warns that terrorist groups are as common as mosquitoes in Burkina Faso. These groups plan attacks with the spontaneity of a surprise birthday party, meaning you never know when or where the next explosion of violence might occur. Hotels, restaurants, even places of worship, nowhere is sacred. Kidnappings are as common as bad Tinder dates, and the government has been in a state of emergency for so long, it's practically their default setting. So, unless you're looking for a travel experience that's equal parts terrifying and inconvenient, I suggest giving Burkina Faso a miss. There are plenty of other places in the world where you can enjoy a relaxing vacation without the constant fear of being taken hostage. Chapter 3. South Sudan, where the airport bathrooms are the least of your worries. Our next stop brings us to South Sudan. This landlocked country in East Central Africa boasts a population of around 12 million and, as I can personally attest, one of the worst airports on the planet. Violent crimes like carjackings and kidnappings are more common than potholes on a country road. Armed conflicts erupt frequently, and access to essential services like healthcare and clean water is unreliable. Unless you have a burning desire to contract malaria while dodging bullets, I suggest adding this destination to your do not travel list. Chapter 4. Yemen, where even the goats are armed and dangerous. Let's be honest, Yemen hasn't exactly been a hotbed of tourist activity for quite some time now. Since the revolution in 2011, the State Department has been basically begging people to avoid Yemen. The country is riddled with terrorism, civil unrest, and enough health hazards to make a biochemist break out in a cold sweat. Kidnappings? Check. Landmines? You betcha. And if, for some inexplicable reason, you still find yourself in Yemen, don't expect any help from the US Embassy. So, unless you're a thrill seeker with a death wish, I suggest admiring Yemen's charms from afar. Perhaps a nice postcard or a documentary will satisfy your curiosity without putting your life in danger. Chapter 5. Venezuela, where even the toilet paper is politicized. Venezuela, the land of beautiful beaches, delicious arepas, and a political climate that's more volatile than a bag of microwaved popcorn. The diplomatic relationship between the US and Venezuela has been about as amicable as a catfight in a phone booth for years now. The State Department isn't mincing words when it comes to Venezuela. Violent crime is rampant, essential resources are scarce, and the political unrest is enough to give anyone heart palpitations. Homicide, armed robbery, kidnapping. It's like the unholy trinity of vacation nightmares. So, unless you have a masochistic streak a mile wide, I suggest taking your tourist dollars elsewhere. There are plenty of other places in the world where you can enjoy a relaxing vacation without the constant fear of being caught in the crossfire. Chapter 6. Mali, where Timbuktu is the least of your concerns. Mali, the landlocked West African nation known for its ancient history and vibrant culture. But hold your horses, Indiana Jones, because the State Department has a message for you. Don't even think about booking that flight. Mali is currently experiencing a crime wave that would make even the most hardened criminal blush. Kidnappings, armed robberies, and violence are so common, they're practically considered national pastimes. The threat of terrorist attacks hangs over Mali like a bad toupee, and the government seems about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. So, unless you're looking for an authentic Mad Max experience, I suggest admiring Mali's rich history and culture from the safety of your couch. Trust me, your nerves and your insurance company will thank you. Chapter 7. Iraq, where history comes with a side of explosions. Iraq, a country with a history as rich and complex as a fruitcake and about as easy to digest. The State Department states that U.S. citizens are at a higher risk of violence and kidnapping than a character in a Liam Neeson movie. Terrorist groups are more common than Starbucks in a major city. These groups like to target everyone and everything, from security forces to civilians. And just to add insult to injury, the U.S. Embassy has suspended its services, so if you do find yourself in a sticky situation, you're basically on your own. So, unless you have a burning desire to experience the joys of geopolitical instability firsthand, I'd suggest skipping Iraq this year. Perhaps opt for a museum exhibit or a documentary instead. Next on our list of places you might want to avoid is China. This isn't about politics, this is about health. The State Department is still advising against travel to China due to ongoing health concerns. Most airlines have cut routes to China, so even getting in or out is a logistical nightmare. Once you're there, you're advised to stay indoors and avoid contact with other human beings. So, unless you're a virologist with a death wish, I suggest postponing that trip to China for the time being. Our penultimate stop brings us to Iran, a country that's been on a seesaw of diplomatic relations with the U.S. for decades. The State Department has issued a stark warning against traveling to Iran, and for good reason. The Iranian government has a penchant for kidnapping and arbitrarily detaining foreigners, particularly Americans. It seems they have this nasty habit of rounding up U.S. citizens on trumped-up charges, throwing them in prison, and then using them as bargaining chips in international negotiations. So, unless you're a fan of forced confinement and questionable legal proceedings, I'd suggest giving Iran a wide berth. There are plenty of other, less politically charged destinations where you can enjoy your vacation without the fear of being thrown in the slammer. Stay safe, and remember to subscribe for more content. And finally, we arrive at our last destination, Haiti. This Caribbean nation, known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture, has fallen on hard times. The State Department has issued a stark warning against traveling to Haiti, citing rampant crime, civil unrest, and a kidnapping rate that would make even the most experienced negotiator sweat. Armed robberies and carjackings are as common as raindrops in a hurricane. So unless you're a seasoned adrenaline junkie with a penchant for danger, I'd suggest crossing Haiti off your travel list for the foreseeable future. There are plenty of other, less chaotic destinations where you can enjoy a relaxing vacation. So there you have it, my list of places to avoid if you value your safety, sanity, and supply of clean underwear. If any of these destinations were on your travel plans, I highly recommend reconsidering. There are plenty of other amazing places to see in the world that won't leave you fearing for your life. Traveling should be an enjoyable experience, not a test of your survival skills. Stay safe and remember to subscribe for more content. Leave a comment with your thoughts, and have a great day.